Hey folks, I'm going to show you how to build a 4x4 deer blind today. We're going to do it real quick. I did buy some materials, but a lot of it I'm just scrapping from my shop. There's a lot laying around in my shop here, so I probably didn't have to buy what I did. I spent about $140 on, I'll show you what I got here. I got 4 sheets of 3/8 plywood, just the cheap stuff. And then I got some 2x2s. And then I actually have, my wife wanted me to throw away this bed frame. So I'm gonna strip that off and cut it up and see if we've got any usable wood in that. And here's my floor. This was just laying in the shop. This was, I poured a septic system lid, and it's nice and thick. It looks like 3/4. So I'm gonna pull these off real quick, and I'm gonna grab that. And I'm just going to show you a quick way to build a cheap blind, as light as possible. I didn't use 2x4s, but anyway, I'll show you how to build it. It goes real quick and easy. So I've gone ahead and marked out the cut. I pulled I had a mold on the back here. I pulled it off. It took just like 5 minutes, and I marked out the cut. I measured it out here with a straight edge that you can put on there and just run the saw across it and make it nice and easy. Make sure that you guys wear safety glasses when you do this. Okay, that makes a really nice, as you can see, just a really nice factory sort of edge when you use one of those, but you don't have to. It's just a cheap deer blind. So anyway, I like to do it because it's easy. Okay, now we're going to cut 4 boards. We need 2 on each end at 48 inches. So 48 here, 48 here, and we'll cut, this one's like almost the right size already, 2 at 45. So so we'll just have the frame for the bottom of the deer blind. Get that out of the way. And okay, so this one's it's an 8 footer, so I measured it right down the middle, and we're ready to go. 2 4-footers. There's 1 45-incher. Okay, so I went ahead and cut 4 35-inchers so that we would have a little more strength on the bottom. Come through here and though make some marks at 16 inches on center, just like you would if you're building a house or any wall for that matter. Make your marks through here though, and we'll start screwing or nailing stuff together. I'm not sure yet. Okay folks, so I was going to try to screw this, and I ran a couple of screws in and said forget that. I got a brand new nail gun sitting here, so I know a lot of people will prefer screws. It's fine, I like screws too, but they don't have the shear strength, and let me tell you, it's not near as fast. Okay, so I was using like a 3 1/4 inch nail with the nail gun for the framing part. Now I'm switching over to just a little 2 inch, 2 1/4. I'm not even sure what it is, but just to tack this plywood down. I've set the plywood down on the base and hit in one corner there, and then use a hammer and square it up and start going.
Looks good.
Okay, and the base is done. So what I'm gonna do now is something a little crazy. I'm gonna lay out the plywood and paint it first, let it dry so that it's painted black, because there's nothing that makes a blind better than having the inside painted, and just paint it while it's laying on the ground. Okay guys, my wife had this box spring. There's no springs to it at the house that I needed to take to my dumpster out here at the shop. And I said, you know what, let me see what wood's in there. I thought there'd be springs, but apparently in these new ones, there are no springs. So it's all 1.5 by 3/4, some nice wood for just trimming some stuff out inside the deer blind. So, and it's free 99, so I'm kind of cheap. And this is why my kids will have a whole bunch of crap to inherit when I get old that they'll have to haul off to dumpsters, I'm sure. So anyway, I mean, it's going to take me just a few minutes to get a lot of it off. I'm not going to work too hard at it, but you know, a lot of this is free wood that I'm using, that I'm building this blind with. Okay guys, I knew that we had black paint in my shop. I got a ton generally, but I am a lot shorter than normal. So anyway, here's some old trash black paint, and it only takes like 2 or 3 minutes a panel. And this is what's best for the inside of your deer blind. This makes it go nice and easy. Deer are not gonna see you. Anyway, this is actually, I think, some paint with some rubber in it too. So you can see how long it takes. I've stacked all the plywood on top of each other here so that I can just paint it, pull it off, and throw it on the floor and move on to another one. So anyway, yeah, I think this is that, this is a sort of paint that's got a sticky stuff in it. I think I bought this to do a rack for my Ranger, the Polaris Ranger. And anyway, this is just much better for the inside of a deer blind. So this will not take long at all. I'll paint it, go throw it on the floor, let it dry, paint the one underneath it, zip right through them. I'll let you watch the whole process here, not that you want to. Yeah, maybe I won't. Pretty boring. You can see it doesn't take long. Okay, so that's one more down. The other one I painted a different gray, and I'm just gonna put it on the front part of the blind on the inside. So I'm not gonna repaint it. It looks good. This is mainly, I mean, in the back, it just makes it so much darker in the deer blind. Obviously, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of YouTube recording and stuff, so I'm gonna be probably doing a lot more recording than shooting, so I wanna be able to have deer not see me. So, okay folks, I'm back. So I'm gonna just frame it with 2x2s just to make it light and cheap. Of course, I wouldn't do this if it's gonna be a blind that you're gonna move around a lot, or you know, you're not trying to save money. This is just a cheap save money blind. But so these are 2x2s, or 1.5 by 1.5 inches. So this is 48 inches long. So we're just gonna frame it on 2 sides. Okay, so these are 2x2s. I'm doing that just to save money. Just because I'm trying to build a cheap blind right now. I'm less than $140 into it. Of course, you guys have seen on the video, I've scrounged a lot of stuff from my shop. There's junk laying everywhere here. So these are 1.5 by 1.5 inches. So right now, I'm gonna cut just for the frame around it. I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll need 4 that are 45 inches long, because this is 48 inches wide. So 4 at 45, so we'll have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we'll do 4 at 48. Okay, I just put these braces up right now, nailed them in. I'll cut the roof line here in a minute, but right now I want to put a cross brace in. And if I'm going to put a cross brace in, then that's where the window needs to go. So let's measure how high we want for the windows. That's why I'm sitting in a chair here. 36 is a little low. I'm going to go with 38 inches for the window height. So we'll do 38. It's going to be about 10 inches. So that'll go all the way up to, a lot of people like them bigger. 10 inches is plenty big to me. That's plenty big to get my video stuff out and my rifle out. So we're going to do 38. I think that'll be just fine. Might have to lean over a little or lower my chair down, but that'll be fine. Okay guys, so I went ahead and cut these angles up here. I just measured 70 on one side and like 78 on the other, just to have a little slope. I mean, you can get out the speed square and get it perfect if you want, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to end up cutting these sheets of plywood down on the ground, but they're just as easy to cut up top, sometimes easier. So I'll have to measure across from here to here. These are on angles. I'm going to run a piece from the top all the way across there on both sides. Okay guys, as you can see, I got this top brace on. I just have one brace across for, that's where the bottom window is going to go. What I want to do now, just because this is a lot harder. If you have somebody to help you, this has taken me way longer than it would with two people. But I wanted to show something that's cheap to build, easy to build, and one person can do it, of course. So what I'm going to do though, for strength, we've got this base down here. It's a 2x4 and then it's got 3/4 inch plywood on the bottom. So I'm going to run the sheets of plywood. I mean, they come in 8-foot sheets, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this front piece just to give it some shear strength. And that's going to be 78 inches. So I'm going to cut that piece and we'll put it on and get some strength on this thing so it doesn't sway side to side. And then we'll go from there. Okay guys, I got this one wall up. This is the one that I painted. It's a dark gray. All the other ones are black. This one, you know, the window's going to be this way, so nothing's going to see it. This is the main window. I know where I'm putting this blind. So I'll put black all the way around. But right now what I'm going to do, I know I've got some more framing to do in here with just the 2x2. So I'm going to put one here at 35, one in the middle at 35, and one over here at 35 to give the roof strength for later. Okay guys, full disclosure here. If I didn't have this thing here to hold stuff like this before I nailed it, like I'm doing right now, it would be just a lot harder. So you guys need to know that. And there's also stuff like this right here for making nice straight cuts. Super handy. Okay guys, here it is with the one of the walls on, one of the side walls on. Here's the front wall. This is going to be that's going to be the bottom of the window, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to cut that out here in a little while, and I'll put another one of these on top. But I want to make it excuse me, I want to cut it in about the middle there to where we leave this flap on and put some hinges on, and it goes down and you can lock it solid like that against it. So that's the plan, but that's going to be phase 2, just kind of detailing it out. I'll do another video on just making it pretty. I actually found some stuff like, I think for one side window, I am going to put in some plexiglass just because I had some cut and laying around. So that front window, I'm just going to have it be a flip up. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'm probably going to just go ahead and put this the rest of the way together and not record again until we get to the roof. And of course, I have roofing material laying here already, so that definitely helps save the price. Like I said, I think I'm at about 140 bucks now, but there'll be some stuff. I'll make a list at the end of stuff that you'll need to add in that weren't included in it, you know. So, but it's looking good, and I like the video makes it look a little darker, that gray in there. Maybe it's just because of the, it does darken it up, but once we paint these crossbars and stuff, it'll really it's gonna be dark in here to where If an animal does look in there, they're not going to see you. Okay, so to put the side piece on, to get it squared up, just hit one real quick, and you can come over here and square it up here. There it is, square. Boom, there it's square. Then you can go through and just hit it everywhere where it needs to be hit. Now we got the plywood on, and that's what gives it the shear strength. So, well, I guess I better put some nails on this side. Now it looks nice and square though. I'm gonna skip the area where the window goes. So, about right there. Of course, most people will probably be using a screw gun, and that's just a lot quicker. So anyway, you can see now, if you look inside, I messed up on the outside and cut one wrong, so that got painted black. I had to paint this black on the inside, but it's all painted. It's quick and easy to roll it on before you put it together. And I even brought some black spray paint for the inside. Let's see, where's it at? I'll show you in a minute. We're just these little, you just need to touch up the boards in here with spray paint. And I'm gonna do that real quick before I go any further. Okay, what I've done here, I've marked, before I put this on, I marked where the 2x2 is in there, because this is where the bottom of the window is gonna be. And I don't wanna cut it out completely here. I'm gonna cut it out with about 3/8 of an inch overlap, so that when we do cut this piece of wood out, it will be nice and even, and the window's gonna open to the top, so then it'll have a brace on the inside to go against. So that's how we're gonna do that. Mark this. And then when we get the saw, and we'll set the blade on the saw to where it just barely goes in there, and we can zip that whole piece right off. Just make sure your blade depth's not too deep so that it doesn't cut in there. You can see it cut all the way through it, but I'm only a 1/16, maybe an 1/8 of an inch past that. And I'll go ahead and measure up 10 inches here, and we'll make that same cut up here and cut this window out. 10-inch windows. You guys can use actually pencils like normal carpenters, but I like my Sharpies. That worked too easy. Okay, see how I got a little overlap right here? It's not much, but it's enough whenever I shut that window that it'll have something to brace against there. And now I'll come back, I'm gonna put another board across here, up top, and have some overlap on that also. And we're down south in Texas, so anywhere down south, you want it as tight as you can have it, because there's just so many wasps and stuff that get in there. So that's the only reason it's so tight. Probably not as big a deal if you're up north where there's not a ton of nasty bugs that get in there. Let's see if this fits. Oh, that's like artwork. I like it. Kind of made it a little tighter. All right. Now we want a little overhang in here. This is it. This is perfect. This chair goes up or down. I like that. Okay, now we're using, oh, so it's gotta be, it's not square there. I need to pull it this way a lot. We're using these leftover pieces from the sides, and I'm just putting these up for the roof because it doesn't really have to have a roof over it. You can put the metal right to it, but just for strength, I'm doing this. Okay guys, so what we did here is I bought 4 sheets of the 3/8 plywood that was only like 21 bucks a piece. And once I cut it, I've got enough left over here to just do the roof. It's 3 pieces, you can see on the inside, but doesn't matter because we're gonna put metal over this. I've got some metal laying around at the shop, and that would cost you money, obviously. It'd take a sheet of metal, but we've got it left over here, so I'm just putting plywood on the top for that reason. If you look inside, you can see that it's all painted now, so it's gonna be nice and dark in here. Whoops, a little high there. All right. Okay guys, windows cut out, roof's on. Before I put the backside on and build the door, since I painted everything in here, I'm just gonna spray paint it, but I don't wanna do it when the door's on so that I get covered and nasty, so. I got spray paint laying around. Once again, this was $3.99. At some point I bought it, obviously, but we're not looking at a perfect paint job here. Just need to come in and hit it like this. Took about 5 minutes to paint. It's far from perfect, but it's gonna be really dark in there. We're gonna show you that whenever we're done. We're gonna get some video from the outside so you can see how difficult it is to see in one of these. Okay guys, so I'm almost done with this. What I found out is that it's lighter. I was trying to build a light cheap deer blind, and this thing's really light, so I actually went through a 2x4 for where the door is gonna go. Just for strength, a 2x4 here, because I'm gonna be able to load this in a truck pretty easy by myself. So I'll put a 2x4 up here, and I'm gonna have this door open like this. Go ahead and measure this. Make sure that you get this measured, and I'm gonna sheet it because I wanna overlap the door for wasps and bugs and stuff. I'm gonna overlap it about a 1/4 inch all the way down when it opens to keep this thing just as tight as I can. So I'll start recording again here in a second. I'm gonna lay it down on its side because it's kind of a precision cut to go ahead and cut out this door the way I'm gonna cut it out. But we'll cut out this where the door frame's gonna go, and then we'll put the hinges on and then cut the rest. Okay guys, here's my last one that I already painted on the inside that saves me so much time. So I'm gonna throw this up here. As you can see, it's pretty, this is only like 3/8 plywood, so it's pretty easy to handle yourself. And I'm gonna button it down, square it up. And then we'll cut those doors out. Okay guys, I've cut out where the door is gonna go, and I overlapped it on that 2x4 by about a 1/4 inch here all the way around. We're gonna drill holes in each corner. That'll make it easier to get our saw blade in there and stuff. So, and then what I'll do is I'll cut it out with a couple of different saws. You may not have all of them, so I actually don't even have to do this. I've got the fancy saws, but in case you don't, we'll do it like this. Okay guys, what I've done is I just cut out this edge on the door where the hinges are gonna go, and I'm gonna go ahead and mount the hinges right now, and then we'll make the other cuts. Just makes it easier for later. The most expensive part of this project are the hinges. They're ridiculous. They were like 11 bucks. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought they should have been about 5, but I looked on Amazon where I get about everything, and they weren't any cheaper there. So if anybody sees any cheaper hinges than this, let me know. Anyway, we'll do this, and then I'll cut the rest of them off. The rest of the door out anyway. Okay, now we're putting the hinges on the front window. the hinges on and the roof on, and we'll be good. And I'm gonna do a part 2 to this video for finishing out, so that you can finish it out all pretty and nice. We'll put some lights in it and stuff like that. But I mean, this is way good for a basic deer blind. Okay, so I found some, it's a John Deere green paint laying around in here. You can see it's pretty bright, so I'm gonna try to just mix a little black with it. But it's $3.99, so I'm trying to save a little money, so it shouldn't take much black. Just darken it up a little. I'm gonna call that good. I'll keep mixing it, but I think that's dark enough. Took some of the shine off of it. I just pour it on here like this and get out the roller and go for it.
That's a secret the professional painters don't want you to know.
Yeah, they don't want you to know this stuff. How easy it is to do, just like this, without much effort. It is a deer blind. I think we're okay. Those look like branches, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they do. Okay guys, here she is. About done. With the basics anyway. I'm gonna do some other stuff later. I went ahead and put some feet on it. They're, I think 40, I'll put the link on, 40. Less than $50, so I wasn't gonna do it, but they were so cheap now on Amazon. So here's the roof ready to go on. I'm gonna screw this down. This is some leftover tin that I had here, so it was $3.99. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a piece of pipe. I'm gonna lean it over. Trying to do this cheap and light, so I'm not getting any help loading it. So I'm gonna go grab a piece of pipe since I install pipe for a living. I think I can find one. I'll roll it on that. How she's lined up. Not perfect. I like it. It's not too heavy. Oh, it rolls easy with that pipe. So I got it up on that pipe. And it looks like it's going to roll right in the truck now. One-man operation, the old fat guy. Easy schmeezy, she's in there. I'm going to tie her down and we'll head to my sister's ranch to set it up. All right, guys, we're ready to head down the road. Will we make it? That's the question. I'm pretty bad about losing stuff out of the back of my truck, but I think we're going to be good. It's darn near wedged in there with all the wood I got on the sides for the base. Let's see. See you in Glen Rose, Texas. Okay guys, took the truck out here to my sister's ranch, and I set this blind up last night. She's all set up. I did decide to put the stabilizer legs on at the bottom here. Those are the cheap ones you get on Amazon. And I got some 4x4s over here, so I am going to, I hunted in it last night real briefly, and this morning. Looks like there's some pretty good deer activity here. Anyway, I'm going to flip it over, lift it up. I got some treated 4x4 by 8s. I think I'm going to come down to about 6 foot. It doesn't need to be very high here. My brother-in-law is supposed to run the tractor down here and cut it. You can see the feeder back there, but the grass is a little tall with it on the ground. I could still see the bucks coming in this morning. But I'm going to put this thing together, see if I can raise it up all on my own. As you can see, this thing, I mean, it's really light. I'm old, fat, and out of shape. No big deal when you do it like this rather than, well, it's nice to use 2x4s. They take up a lot of room on the inside, but 2x2s and 3/16 plywood. I would guess the blind only weighs maybe 150 pounds, so pretty easy to move around by yourself. Okay, folks, there's the deer feeder over there, right at about 100 yards. And here she is. Here she is complete. Got her up. We used the truck to pull her up, and pulled it up. Got it at about the balancing point, and put the brake on and went out, and it was pretty easy to lift up, and just lift it up, and it's, I mean, it's pretty darn level. I only had to put some under one leg, but this is like the $150 hunting blind, and hopefully it'll last a while.